5:05, let's call the Drainage Committee meeting to order. Let the record reflect that all members are present besides Mr. Blanchard. Item number 1, request approval to clean and sweep outfall Mass Lane Ward 1.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, this is a project every 5 years. It needs a little maintenance. It's ready. It needs to be swept. It's going to help alleviate drainage issues behind that.
Got a total cost of $1,000. Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. McLaren. All in favor? Any opposed? Parish. Item number 2, request approval for culvert replacement for 3431 Highway 1.
It's 3431 is the address. It's actually 2 separate driveways. So that 40 foot is going to be two separate repairs. Both the culverts are collapsed, impeding water flow.
Total cost of $1,220. Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? All right.
The order reflect all members are present except Mr. Blanchard. First item is to request approval to pay bills submitted through May 18, 2023.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, review budget and parish statements for major funds for April 2023.
Yes, all the budgets were put in your packets. There's really no action recommended at this time, so
No action.
recommend approval.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Carter. Second by
Second.
Mr. Como, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Third item, request approval to enter into a 3-year lease with Gene and a lease granted for the Lease Road boat launch at cost of $300 per month, be funded through wards 2 and 3 recreation. Me and Mr. Irvin have been negotiating this for a few months with the landowner, finally coming to terms. So
What was the holdup?
the first hold
Well,
up,
first of all, we had to get that appraised.
they wanted to sell it.
They wanted to sell it. And then,
The sale price was, what they want for is way over appraised value.
appraised.
So anything, motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Alcorn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item number 4, update to board relative to 2021 audit findings and progress report.
The audit findings in regards to the timing of reconciliation, we continue to cross-train. We have our new girl, Michelle, who's doing a great job, and, that's a work in progress. The other item was library payroll controls. They've been advised, and they're seeking to follow all procedures.
Let me ask you a question. With that report, is there any, I guess, comments that we can ask, and raise some concerns relative to, like, I know the state has a requirement where you can piggyback on some things. And I know, is it in fact coming from the auditors, or is it from ourselves, whereas perhaps like, when Paul LeBon here can't piggyback off of the Fush Parish for the very same item that was just researched and they got the best deal for it, he's got to wait 30 days. Is any way, we could take a close look at that, or do we as jurors need to just take and look at it ourselves?
I think we can look at that. I mean, you're talking about bids and,
Vehicles and stuff, dump trucks and equipment. The way it works is if Jefferson Parish, or any other parish gets a price on a vehicle, parishes are allowed to piggyback off of that for a year's time. We're not allowed in this parish to piggyback on that.
and that may be an in-house
That's correct.
Yeah.
procedure that needs to be changed. I mean, in some cases, policies just need to be changed to,
Let's look at it, put it up to next meeting.
Because in a lot of matters, it seems as though we are a little bit stringent on ourselves than what's required by other parishes. And I really want to pose this question. Are we self-imposing that on ourselves? Or is it really the audit findings? I mean, the auditors.
right.
Even if it's the auditors, if it's not a state law or whatever, we still can change it.
I think auditors pretty much audit your procedures, so.
Because in another fashion, what I'm alluding to is, like, we got a lot of projects that we're trying to get done. We're asking of Paul, we're asking of Blankenship. They're looking out, they're getting quotes. And upon getting those quotes, they're finding problems with one insurance. When an individual has insurance, individual may have workers' comp, but there's still some loophole whereas we're only getting 1 or 2 people to bid on those jobs. We're gonna have some delays and some.
From my understanding, the jury voted that all vendors had to have workman's comp with no exceptions. I think that's the big problem, the no exceptions part. A sole proprietor can have workman's comp, but there's an exception. They could exempt themselves. In the case where there's only one person, well, workman's comp does no good, because if you exempt yourself, you exempt. But if you exempt yourself and other people are working, that's different. So I guess y'all would need to relook at that and see what's what. In some cases, if I talk to the insurance company or the vendor, I'll ask, like in some cases, the owners are absentee. Superior Tar, for instance, or Supreme Tar, for instance. The owner is absentee. He was exempt from the workman's comp, but of course he doesn't work anymore. So they just put it as a description on the workman's comp certificate, absentee voters, absentee owners are. Right. So and so is an absentee owner.
Weigh in, I think I might be able to help in this situation from the standpoint of is I'm the sole owner of a small business that does work with the parish. I have contracts with the parish. For years, I have workman's comp that covers my employees, covers any actions I do. I have liability insurance and, vehicle insurance and stuff covered for me to go on job sites. But for many years, they exempted me from workman's comp as the owner because it's for me as the owner, it's counterproductive. I'm not going to sue myself if I get hurt on a job site.
Right.
However, the way it was explained to me by my insurance agent is they came back and said, yeah, that's true. However, the entity, you all need or need that additional protection because if let's say I get hurt on a job site, you want assurance that I'm not going to sue you. Correct.
Right.
Okay. And so in understanding that, yes, it did cost. I then had to turn around and once you all had passed that motion, I enacted that insurance. Yes, it is a cost to me. My premium went up. That's the cost of doing business. There are options to us as owners to limit ourselves and actions with those workman's comp policies that can bring that cost down and still give you the protection, i.e. what you would basically do is the owners, sole proprietors would have to classify, depends on how they classify themselves. If they classify themselves that they're going to be on a job site and running equipment and so forth, they're going to pay that premium. However, if they're an owner that is literally sitting in an office all day and, they don't have any job site exposure, that premium is at least from our standpoint, from us, my company, it was minimal. Okay. So I can't speak for other businesses, but as somebody who's weighing in on that is the hurdle they're having to cross is most of them have been exempt for many years being sole proprietors.
Right. And the law doesn't require as a sole proprietor for you to have workman's comp. And that's what they keep telling us. But if we require it,
It's for the parish to protect ourselves.
right. So nobody can come over here and sue us. But I have had some,
It just handcuffs our ability to find vendors and contractors to do our work. In a small parish, you can only, like Mr. Johnson was saying, we only got so many people to choose from. And if they're not meeting our criteria for us to hire them, then it throws them out of the loop and we continue to search. That's the issue we're having with it.
But the question is this, did it all work out anyway? Did we still find people?
We're struggling with a few right now, and we having to go back to those vendors and say, look, and like I got some opinions about it, and just go up on your rate, get your insurance, and do what you got to do to recoup it.
And the reason I bring it up is, and Jamie, I know, we worked on this before, and I know you had to do some similar things with your operation. I'm bringing it up to see if there's anything that we can reach out to Guy or any of them from the Police Jury Association and just see what's out there, because it is going to make it a bit more increasingly hard for us to do business or for contractors, that is, the smaller ones anyway. So some of those things that we have been accustomed to people carrying those tasks out for us or those services, it's not that attractive anymore.
Correct.
All right, any more discussion? Motion to accept the report from Ms. Corey. Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Alcorn, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Next item, request approval to rescind the motion to relocate the mayor's office upstairs and discuss the housing locations for the federal programs department and the veterans office.
After doing a little investigation, talking to some of the jurors that was actually on the board when this building was built and when the contract was done, I made a few phone calls, especially to our former president, Mr. Marty Treese, and he informed me that they did have an agreement that the mayor would have to use up the bottom stairs with those offices. So I would like to, with that being said, I would like to get that motion resent, let them honor the agreement and keep the offices downstairs. And I talked to Mike. Mike is working on something to see where he's gonna put.
We got Ms. Mercedes, we're gonna take her lobby and convert that to an office, move her lobby into the big lobby. So we'll free up for her assistant at front office.
And what about the
The
veterans?
veterans, Paul and myself looked at 2 rooms in the health unit, which they are doing in LaFourche Parish, right?
That's correct. So we try to get the VA moved to the health unit.
That would-
What about Megan in the cubby hole?
Next option would be across the bay, I guess.
What about creating a better cubby unit for her? If that's all,
We could also
if
do
that's all our options, she's just in a, has 2 little
We
walls.
can look into that corner.
You
the
can
corner
make
where
a,
the windows at.
right. You can make a
The
office
actual
with some
cubicle.
cubicles.
And we can move the lobby on the wall where her desk is at. That's another option also.
Yes, that's my motion to rescind that, and make the adjustment that Mike spoke of.
Mercedes, you good with
I'm good
recommendation?
with having the lobby as an office for the assistant. And how soon can we start?
Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow.
And what modifications you need? What
Oh,
renovation?
just need to
Move the bulletin board.
move all the information out of the lobby and then order her some furniture. That's all.
Right.
All right, we can make that work. Maybe at the beginning of next week.
Then we'll meet up and go over some stuff for that corner.
I made a motion.
Just making it, so the motion on the floor to rescind the motion to really relocate the mayor's office upstairs. Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Johnson, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we don't even need to take any action on the moving stuff. I mean, we take care of that in house. Any other business? Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Mr. Carter, second. Mr. Alcorn, all in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Yeah, thank, thank.
Yes, we do. We have a request for deviation for an item that came up about 15 minutes ago. I'll give you a brief explanation. As you all know, we're working with GIS Engineering on acquiring a grant for the community center to install a treatment facility there for the sewer and thus take us off of the reliance of the school. DEQ has sent a request this afternoon requesting that the parish provide some sort of resolution stating that they would be responsible for the operation and maintenance of that new piece of equipment. And they're making a decision on this grant at the end of the week. So we would have
That
to
the parish will
Maintain.
maintain is basically that you would state that you have a budget, an operation and maintenance budget that is adequate to maintain this facility. And I ran some calculations today. The cost of this operation and maintenance of the facility, including the electricity, is about $2,500 a year.
Nice to see our books. They're gonna see we operating in the red on that.
$2,500 a year?
Because, well, you look at it, it has some blowers and so forth. Those blowers, you know, I used an average of about $12 to $15 15 cents a kilowatt hour. You know, you know, it's gonna cost $1,400 a year in electricity. And then, you know, figuring Paul's time to just, you know, having filter changes and so forth, things of that nature, we're estimating it's about $2,500.
All right. All right,
I make a motion to deviate.
motion to go back in the finance by Mr. Como, second by Mr. Alcon, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to deviate by Mr. Como,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And I guess we heard from the parish engineer that resolution is needed. The parish has a budget to maintain the sewer system. basically.
Correct. The proposed sewer system at the community center.
So entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Alcorn. Any public comment on that? First call, second call, last call, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Carter,
Thank you, John.
second by Como, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Joseph is stating that this information is required to be submitted by Friday, May 26th.
Yes, I'll be
So
getting
they have, yeah,
contact with them office tomorrow if we can get the resolution typed up. We're gonna email it electronically. Once I have the resolution from the office, I'll email it electronically to DEQ.
No.
All right, call the personnel committee meeting to order. Let the record reflect all members are present except Mr. Leroy Blanchard. Item number one, request to approve end of probationary period for Michelle Solar, accountant, to be effective May 27th, 2023.
So move.
What's the second by Ron? All in favor?
Aye.
You need. Motion carries. Number two, request approval of the revised job description of the floodplain manager, permit director, mosquito control supervisor, IT specialist, and inclusion in the organizational structure manual. So moved by Jamie. Second by Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
Click it on this, boy, you get a time, the times are different.
We did the move.
Motion to
5:20.
adjourn?
Yeah.
You made a motion? All right, motion adjourned.
Second by Jamie, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
All right, we now start the Federal Programs Committee meeting. Let the record reflect that all members are present with the exception of.
2 minutes. It's supposed to be 5:30.
Oh, really?
5:20.
Oh, okay.
It's back with 5:30.
Oh, okay.
They don't require, if you have an owner exemption on there, they don't.
All right, we now start the federal programs committee meeting. That the record reflected all members are present with the exception of Mr. Leroy Blanchard. First, we got request approved to exercise 2 one-year extensions for the administration of the Section 8 program with Roberto Macedo and Associates to expire 9/30/2025. I've had some discussion with our assistant DA as well as with the applicants that applied. And I would like for us to discuss number 2 first, and just raise some concerns speak of some concerns that were raised. But more importantly, I wish to thank those contractors that did apply for our Section 8 program, because it was them pickings. We had no one come forward but that outfit, and that is the gentleman that's with us today that raised some concerns. So if y'all don't mind, I'd like to start with discuss Section 8 bid process. And in it, there was some concerns raised about how our procedure transpired, where we utilized our provider at the time, which was Roberto, to sit in on our discussions relative to a contract that he was not bidding on, but later changed his mind and bid on. And the contractors that were applicants just got some concerns with it. And y'all welcome to raise your point, Ms. KJ Consulting. I just want to share that with y'all here.
I'm Shirley Jones with KJ Consulting. I'm one of the bidders, well, to my understanding, the only bidder. I would like to make a request that the board rescind the decision that was made at the May 10th board meeting, which is to extend Mr. Morcedo and Associates' current contract for 1 additional year as requested by Mr. Morcedo. There are some reasons why I would like, to have it rescinded, and Eric's going to come up and share some.
Excuse me, is there any particular why?
Yes.
Please state your
So my name is
name.
Kerry, my name is Kerry Jones,
That's what-
with KJ Consulting. It's our understanding, so for the May 10th meeting that the board had, what was put on the board's agenda was the discussion of the proposal that was made by the police jury for advertising for an administrator of the Section 8 program to take over as Mr. Macedo and Associates were retiring as of the end of September. Prior to that meeting, we were contacted that afternoon and were informed that there was a meeting that was held, either a committee meeting or a transition meeting. I don't know which one it was, but we were the only bidder. And Mr. Macedo participated in that meeting. And later it was our understanding that it was an evaluation. And it was discussed and understood that Mr. Macedo would participate in the transition from his office to the proposer who may, if the board would have voted on their proposal, transition to the next contractor. In that case, being us. That was our understanding. I got another call probably later on that evening and said that the board meeting, they received a letter that late that afternoon that Mr. Macedo decided to exercise his option on the 1-year extension of the 2-year contract that is currently being administered by his company. It was not our understanding that he intended to, up to that point, to extend. It was also our understanding in prior talks with Mr. Macedo and with the administration of the police jury that he was retiring and that he put on the record that he was retiring with you guys. Therefore, you guys sent out a request via public advertisement for a proposal, which we submitted, which in our estimation was right and which was supposed to be done. So our questions are, at the 9th hour, I mean, Mr. Macedo decided to
to change his mind only after participating in an evaluation where he was not a competitor because he was retiring. So then after he had then looked at our proposal and discussed that proposal with administration, he decided he wanted to extend his contract. That's clearly some ethics violation or something untoward as far as in our estimation that was done. So at the end of the day, and there were jurors who participated in that meeting, were unaware when they left that meeting that Mr. Macedo intended to extend his contract. So therefore, we ask now that the board meeting on the 10th, the only thing that was discussed was him extending his contract, but apparently this board was not aware of what went on and the circumstances that you guys were not aware of that allowed you to just vote to extend the contract. Then we received a letter the next day, which was our only contact with the administration as far as the evaluation process or whatever, and we're told that the board voted to extend his contract and that all other proposers' bids were rejected. Well, that's true, but not true. There were only us. So, and then we were told that Mr. Macedo decided that because of some staffing issues that he had discussed with you guys, well, it's my understanding that Mr. Macedo decided to retire a year ago. So now you guys get into the 9th hour and you say, oh, we got to get somebody else. Initially, this was not even sent through a public bid. It was sent out and they did some requests and saw if anybody wanted to bid it. We bidded it. Then we contacted the administration and certain members of the board and said, hey, I don't think they followed the proper procedures for requesting for proposals. So then the administration, they said, okay, they didn't even address our proposal. They then went back and put it out for public bid. Again, it went out for public bid, stayed out for 30 days, and we turned the bid in on the 5th of May. After that, we were not contacted by the administration. We only found out that the bid was being evaluated on the date of the meeting that it was supposed to be addressed with this council. It was never addressed, and had the circumstances surrounding that been addressed, we feel that the board would not have voted to extend Mr. Macedo's contract. Mr. Macedo's, in addition to that, had no reason, none, legally or otherwise, to participate in an evaluation of a proposal of his competitor for a contract that's upcoming. So with that being said, we think that that should be rescinded and that shouldn't even be discussed until the circumstances surrounding the proposal and Mr. Macedo's participation in evaluating that and Mr. Macedo's understanding of our understanding as to why he changed his mind at the 9th hour, later than the 9th hour. Because there's a lot of questions. And in addition to that, we have other information that we've gathered now that we know for a fact that there was discussion after that meeting between the administration and Mr. Macedo that perhaps made him change his mind. With that said,
Would you like to share that information with us?
not at this time. That's why we're asking for a proper review.
I give y'all my opinion. Again, I don't want to defend Mr. Macedo's position. I think he needs to be here to speak on his own behalf. But as far as his contract, just speaking on the four corners of that contract, that was effective September the 30th, 2021. That was a 2-year initial term, meaning that he's not even up for contract renewal until this September. It's only May. He has 2 options to extend, meaning, like I said in my opinion, that contract is a viable contract until September 30th, 2025. The reason why, again, to my understanding, why this was put out into the marketplace was because Mr. Macedo had expressed concerns about whether or not he could continue to staff his office. There was nothing, as far as, again, I was led to believe there was nothing definitive in that regard. So there were still discussions ongoing. They opened up the marketplace. There was a bid received. Mr. Macedo said that he wanted to continue and extend his, again, viable contract, which is what was ultimately determined. I don't want to defend Mr. Macedo's position because that's not my job, but the way that I wrote my opinion, I'm sticking to that. I think what the actions that were taken were acceptable, were legal. Does that mean that you don't need to look deeper into the process? That's a jury decision. But legally speaking, I have no areas of concern.
Committee members here, you got any comments,
Well,
questions?
I would like to say it wasn't, I talked to Mr. Mercedo. First I contacted, I talked to him and he assured me that he was retiring from this position. I tried to, I wanted to be assured that that's something he wanted to do. So I did talk to him before putting in the first bid.
Right, so we had conversation with him. Like she said, she had an extensive conversation with him. Look, we wouldn't have wasted our time and all of our energy to put in a bid if we knew that he was not retiring, but that was never revealed. That was never told to us. That was told to us at 4:30 on May 10th. At 2 o'clock on May 10th, we were under the impression that there was a meeting. It was a transition meeting that Mr. Macedo was participating in. And in that meeting, what came out was that Mr. Macedo would be they were going to participate in a transition for the upcoming contract. And I think you're talking about this contract, and you're absolutely right. We're not discussing this contract. We're discussing the upcoming contract. So I'm crystal clear on what contract we're talking about. The contract he has right now, it expires. Whether he extends it or not, it expires as of September 30th. That's the current contract. So you're absolutely right. He has a contract right now, but it can be extended for 2 years because that's an option with the approval or with the agreement of this board. So we're not disputing that. And that's why I think we had a discussion earlier. You're absolutely right. The proposal itself is moot as far as the board is concerned, if they extend the contract. However, we're not disputing the current contract as not being valid. We're talking about the upcoming contract and why you guys initiated a proposal for the upcoming contract. And Mr. Macedo gave written notice that he was retiring. He also informed the board, he informed the administration, he informed us. We had no reason to talk to Mr. Macedo. We had no reason to send in a proposal if he was going to extend his contract. We do contracts all over the country.
I'm thinking, as I read this, and Mr. Calabro, you could probably elaborate on that. The 2 1-year extension will take it into 9/30 of 2025. Here's what the contract reads, so he can in fact do that. Am I correct? He can.
Yes, and again, he's been the administrator for quite a many years. And with this opportunity, as far as the extension, that's at the pleasure of both parties. So if Mr. Macedo wants to extend and the jury wants to extend, then it continues on. So again, in my mind, legally, the way I see it, you have a viable contract until September 30th, 2025.
And we're not disputing that. Like he said, you have a viable contract until September 30th of 2025. Notwithstanding that you don't extend that contract for 2 years. If you don't extend that contract for 2 years, then you got to put it out for bid anyway. All right, which is what you did. So so we are discussing the circumstances that led to him wanting to at 1 hour before the board meeting to discuss our proposal to extend this contract.
Did any one of the jurors sit in that meeting?
Absolutely.
I did, and Leroy did. Yeah, it was.
But at the current.
Yeah, he's the current administrator. At the time, he had no inkling that he wanted to continue. He was speaking of transition support for the newcomers, the applicants. And it just was sort of surprising that there wasn't a call, I guess a call to Kim or email stating that change his mind, think his staffing is gonna be sufficient to sustain the program, and he wanted to rescind what he stated. I want to continue on. And I understand what's being said here. And I know what the jury's contention would be if we got somebody administrating the program, and if he had not wanted to leave, all was good for us. You know, I understand these folks concerned if he has stated he's retiring, and they'll put their bid in.
And he changed his mind.
Yeah.
He changed his mind.
1 hour before the board meeting.
He changed his mind. It should have been 1 minute before,
I,
but he changed his mind, and he got that option.
is that SOP? Is
You know, so,
that normal SOP?
you
And
know,
operating procedures would be
I don't
same.
know what's normal, it was abnormal, but he got that
Well, he
option.
was still under contract.
He's still under contract, the contract.
While
not
he's
expired.
under contract, he could discuss, anytime he wanted.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
what gave him the right to participate in an evaluation meeting then?
Now, that is where we spoke of reviewing our process. We've got some work to do there. In any of our programs.
Talking to somebody that probably administered this program for 16+ years, but not a hiccup. Not a
Doesn't matter.
hiccup.
That doesn't matter. We're
It
not here
matters
to
to,
debate that.
matters to me.
We're not here to debate that.
I know. Well, I'm going with the ADA's recommendation,
I know you are.
you know, so.
I think we need to take a closer look at the way we evaluate some of these transitions. And in the meeting, I mean, he was speaking like he was retiring throughout the whole entire meeting.
Yeah, he was speaking of working toward, being supportive of transitioning to the transition of speaking to the new applicants. He also spoke of meeting with them, and we were due to meet at another meeting, and this meeting was going to be everyone in person rather than a virtual meeting. And moments thereafter, I think Kim may have received an email or call stating he wanted to rescind, or email indicating he wanted to rescind. And I got the email, I can read it. If you want.
Yeah, that's, why don't you read it? You still have the contract.
He still, as the contract states, he has the option to
Yeah.
continue on to.
Right, but I want you all to hear it, because here's the thing I'm sharing with you. If it's not today, it's tomorrow, it may be 2025. I'm happy to know that we had someone to apply.
Right.
We had no one to come forward. We were asked to seek individuals to come forward, and we did have someone to come forward. They have their very right to be at that podium discussing what's at hand right now. And there is some reason for concern, and it can sound suspicious as to how it transpired, and I don't blame him for being here. At any rate, I do respect our assistant DA. He's always guided us appropriately. The way that transpired in the meeting I was in, and you all are raising the right questions. It didn't come out as too good to change at the 11th hour. When we discussed.
Still has that option.
Yes.
If memory serves me right, I think we went out twice.
It did go out twice.
Went out twice. So we know when Mr. Mercedes approached the jury, our backs were against the wall because we need that Section 8 program. So we knew that our backs were against the wall, and it went out twice. Yes, he's still under contract. Yes, the jury has the option to reject. Yes, the jury does have the option to extend. Again, I don't know if that was an evaluation or a transitional discussion to how to make the transition a smooth transition if the new applicant would have been awarded with the contract. But something just doesn't say. Yeah. But
Well,
the ADA has guided us.
something
Yes,
doesn't
got it.
seem right, but legally, it's right.
It's right.
We don't know if it's legally right.
Yeah, it's legally right.
So that's the opinion of the parish attorney, of the parish's attorney. So we want to put on record that we will pursue all of our legal remedies. That's his opinion. That's not our attorney's opinion, and that's not the court's opinion. So I don't know what you guys are going to decide, but I want to make sure we have on record that we will pursue all of our legal remedies. All right, with that said, you guys can do whatever you want. That's it.
All right, number one, request approval to exercise 2 one-year extensions for the administration of the Section 8 program with Roberto Macedo and Associates to expire 9/30/2025.
You looking for a motion?
Yeah.
Motion.
The contract states it. I'm gonna make the motion.
Okay, motion by Palmville,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Como. All in favor, raise your hand. Let me see the hands. 1, 2, all right. Any nays? 1.
I'm abstaining.
Everybody not raised their hand?
Not all.
Oh.
That's all you got on it, that's it.
So you gotta put that. Motion to adjourn.
All right, motion adjourned by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Palmville.
Mr. Como?
All right, we'll go ahead and get started with the Engineering Grants Committee meeting. All members are present except for Mr. Blanchard. First item is update on project status and funding sources by GIS Engineering.
We wasn't here today, but he did send out an email, gives a pretty decent
Yes.
cap of what's going on.
They sent out a link.
So most of the team.
Next item is update from Grants Coordinator.
I provided all of you with, Leonard had notes on all the grants that were ongoing, either that he applied for and they haven't been awarded yet, or ones that he applied for and were awarded, or if they were in the application process. So I just kind of updated those based on all the information that I could find. And then I do have a few of them that I had wanted to discuss. The water sector program, we discussed some of that last meeting, but of the documents that were needed to be submitted, I have 3 left. The consolidation agreement between systems, I'm getting specifics from Joseph. The acquisition of property letter and timeline, also I'm working with Joseph on that. The work performance schedule, working with Joseph on that as well. The RFQs are currently being advertised. The deadline for those to be accepted is 6/20/2023. We have some line item appropriations. The repaving of Lee Drive and the fire hydrant installation project. Those deadlines are June 30th, 2023. And our request for both of these, that the police jury request a legislative extension, as I have doubts that these projects will be completed by the deadline. The Keep Louisiana Beautiful grant, we were awarded 10 trash receptacles to be placed at Gilbert Ducati Park in Belrose. They have been installed and I will be closing this grant by the end of the week. The recreational trails grant, I'm applying for the walking trail for Gilbert Ducati Park in Belrose. So I am in the process of doing that. And then Leonard, I'm sorry, not Leonard. Joseph did touch on, I believe this one that was on GIS's list of, on the email that he sent all of y'all. They submitted the pre-application for Clean Water State Revolving Fund for the Assumption Parish Community Center Emergency Shelter Sewer Treatment Plant. And that's what, I believe what you were stating actually needs to be required. Okay. And then all they said was it needed the parish's plan to meet at a minimum operation and maintenance as well as debt service for the 300,000 requested. And the response is required by this Friday. And it did say that there is potential for some subsidy to be awarded, but it can't guarantee it would be 100% of the loan amount. But sewer user fees and ARPA are not allowed as funds.
She doing good?
Like the report.
Excellent report.
She on the ball. She on the ball.
Yeah, very good.
What- what-
be out.
Is that?
June 30th, John. Then the end of the session.
Ron, you had talked to Mr. Price, Ed Price.
Yeah.
Of how it extended. Did it happen?
Yeah, it's in the bill. It's in the bill to be extended. So we should be in good shape. It's already written in the bill. Him, Ed and Chad put it in the bill on both sides, the House and the
What's the
Senate.
hold up with that?
Contractor is moving forward.
I saw him at Ezekiel and Grant.
Right, so he is moving forward. We're waiting on a couple more valves to come in. He's put in his 1 calls. We've located all the sites with him. So he is on track right now to meet the June 30th deadline, but we are still requesting that extension because we still have, even when he meets that deadline, we still have a 45-day lean period. We have other, if there's any punch list items to address, anything is gonna push us over. So we are pushing to have that done. I met with M-Track today to get a status update of where we are, basically our timeline for completion of Lee Drive. And
What was that time?
as it stands right now, he's looking at being done. He's looking to be done before June 30th. Right now, we met regarding all of the current project changes that have been discussed and field adjustments that were made on site and things of that nature. We discussed our current budget and where we stand. And basically right now we are still running in a I don't say negative, but we're still in the green. In other words, we're still well below project cost right now as bid, even with some additions and changes that we made. So our proposal is we are going to be coming to the jury with a deduct change order once we balance out those quantities. And I can explain that further. I know they had an update on Lee Drive, but I plan to present that to you all.
Yeah, we're gonna update Lee Drive.
But just to let you know, status wise, we are on track to finish Lee Drive for June 30th. But again, punch list, so I agree with her assessment that we do need to get that extension.
Okay, is that it, Megan?
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
she touched on the water sector. Just like Mr. Nakane said earlier, Mr. Lusky sent out a lengthy email with proposals from different other parishes as it pertains to the RFQ process that I think that we're going out. So whenever y'all get a chance, I've had an opportunity just to print them all out and look at it to where you can get a pool of engineers and things like that. You got it?
No, is that, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's with the RFQ that we went out for. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can put our heads together. We can look at what the other municipalities are doing and come up with something. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, okay. All right. Next item is request approval to amend current engineering contract references Go Mesa projects to the defined scope.
Yes, per your previous meeting, I was requested to bring an amendment before the jury with a defined scope for the listed projects and a set fee for each of those projects that were previously listed as a general description for drainage improvements at a 10% of construction cost. We stated we would provide that. We did. We provided that scope along with those set fixed costs for the engineering fees. And so that's what we're proposing as an engineering amendment tonight, to basically, it would do away with, not do away with the Go Mesa contract that we currently have, but it would take away the 10% of construction cost as requested and set those fees and those descriptions.
Got a motion on the floor, Mr. Momo.
I think every,
Cool, Mason, should we go RFQ that?
No.
some of it.
This
will be.
is work that has been done. We gave the jury everything that we've asked for. He has not gotten paid for none of it. And I think it's our obligation to pay him.
It's Go Mesa.
It's non-go, you can pay him out of non-Go Mesa. The same way we paid, same way we
As long
paid.
as I ain't Go Mesa, we gotta go by it.
No, same as what I'm doing with my raises.
I ain't Go Mesa.
Non-Go Mesa.
On the ring levy project, you give us a price of $12,000. Big Daddy and Mr. Como allocated the remaining of their drainage allocations of last year. On the submittal that you proposed to us, you're at $20,000.
Correct. When we had the discussion and you all had requested if I could complete the ring levy project at that cost, it was discussed that all that would be requested was a basic design of a platform that could be used repetitively, along with the basic design of the pumps that would be used repetitively. I since then had met with you in our office and we went over the budget for this project. The budget for this project, as it is designed and currently placed in your hands, is at over $2 million or close to $2 million in construction costs. Even at a $20,000 fee, that is less than 1% of the actual design cost of that job. That's as low as I can bring it, gentlemen. We are losing money on that job. I understand that we discussed a possible $12,000 fee,
Not a possible.
but that was.
I asked you if you could do it for $12,000 and you said yes.
But that scope was based on.
Based on
That was-
engineering the ring levy, Joseph.
That was based on utilizing a basic design of a platform and a levee that would be used by the parish to be installed basically in the areas of the Mare and other areas, and that's being done. That wasn't specific to the ring levy project.
Yes, it was.
Well, I respectfully disagree, because I can't.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, Maron, to approve, to amend the current engineering contract referring to Go Mesa projects to define the scope. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Jeff. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, one
Question,
opposed.
Mr. Como, just for the record, payment will come out of the non-bond Go Mesa.
No, yeah.
Just for the record.
Guys, I just don't know how you can change the price after the fact.
I mean, I don't know if you knew, I mean, Joseph, did you know the scope of work was gonna come out to a $2 million project? Did you know at that time?
Not at that time, but you all have requested this, and I have a contract. Prior to this amendment, I had a contract in place for 10% of construction costs.
Okay, so the motion has passed.
Passed.
The motion passed. We'll go to item number 4.
But, excuse me, the non-bonding, this is not budgeted?
No, I got some information from Melissa. There is funds available that has not been identified to any projects.
$336,900.
Plus $40,000 is
$41,000.
$376,000.
That wipes us out.
How much they got left?
You got
No.
25%, you got 25, we bonded out 75% of our Go Mesa funds. We're still getting the existing 25% that is not being bonded. That's gonna continue to come in for a couple of years.
We hadn't received any of that money, right?
It's coming in, that's how we got the 40,000. The
Yeah, we have-
25% gonna come to us.
Yeah, we have 336,000 left from the 1.5. And then we have 41,000 extra.
So the 41,000 extra is what's continuing to come in.
I'm gonna back up on my question. Actually, it was Go Mesa. You say it's not Go Mesa, but now it's non-bond. Go Mesa.
Non-bond.
It's
Non-bond.
still Go Mesa money. So
Still
Go
Go
Mesa
Mesa
money,
money,
you
yes,
still
sir.
gotta follow. the
How
dollar.
did we pay $400, almost $500,000 for a white paper binder for a parish engineering study?
That's correct.
We paid it out of non-Go Mesa bond for professional services. So if we can pay it that way, we can pay it the other way. That's the same way we paid Jacob.
Pay the man's money.
Excuse me.
That's the same way we
I
paid
mean-
him. We paid him out of that.
I did ask the question of the requirements for bond and non-bond this morning. And Melissa said there was no difference.
Well, how we pay one engineer and can't pay the other one?
I have no idea. But
It don't add up. It don't add up.
They can see a $10 million chargeback come, or $1 million chargeback,
You already done paid one.
you know. That's the only hiccup I've got.
did you tell her about?
No, I just
Joseph's
asked her,
amendment?
I just asked her for a budget.
Mhm.
That's all I did.
You approve it toward,
Excuse me.
awarded toward.
I asked this morning, but she told me.
Well, I don't understand how you can pay one for professional services and can't pay the other.
Need to get a professional.
Every allocation of 120 up to 140,000 that GIS was doing for their allocation every quarter, they got it out the non-bond. And we put that money aside when we started the study to pay for it, and that's a professional service.
We all approve.
And we all approved it.
Come on, I'm gonna back up on second that motion. Any go make some money, we gotta go out for RFQs. And now we're gonna get charged back. We're gonna get charged back, man. We can't afford to get charged back.
I don't understand how you gonna pay one and you can't pay the other.
Let's just
About
table
something
this.
2 years ago.
It's more information first.
Motion to table, Mr. Cabot, to get some more
Okay.
information.
All right.
I'm not on the committee, but I kind of agree with Ron.
You
If
can't
we
do that.
pay GIS out of the same money,
Same money.
engineering services, what is the difference now?
We may have been wrong back then.
Yeah.
So 2 wrongs don't make it right.
Okay, so he still needs to get paid. We're gonna get it out of general fund, and I don't think we want to go there.
I don't think I'm gonna make that decision tonight.
All right, then, so.
Let's table it till we get more information.
I second that motion.
We'll
My
table it.
motion to table, yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
table it.
Jennifer?
Well, who's on those?
I'm not on the committee.
Got a motion by Mr. Nakane.
Okay, second budget.
Give it the next meeting.
You making a motion to table it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, motion by Jeff to table it, second by Jamie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay. Nay.
Nay.
2 nays.
I just got a response. It says yes, same requirements.
So how you pay for one? And you can't pay for the other?
That's a question you have to ask the.
Well, somebody need to find the answer, because that's not right, and it's
Well, that's one
it's
answer. I wanna get
blatantly
to.
wrong.
Pursuant to that motion, I was requested at the last meeting to provide you with all of the fine scope and set prices in lieu of my current contract for the 10% of construction. I'm at a point, at this point, gentlemen, I need some direction as to how you wish me to proceed, because I'm being directed by motions of this jury to provide plans, specifications, and bid documents, of which I am doing. And now it is being brought into question as to how to pay for those services, and they have not been paid for. So that is, I need some direction.
So the $12,000 on my project is being paid through drainage allocations from Mr. Nakane and Mr. Cole. So that shouldn't even be in there.
I don't think it is, it's not in there. I don't think yours is.
What's your
I
drainage?
don't think yours is.
They're all listed. Everything that I was directed to do under the Go Mesa projects is listed here. I am
The
not,
engineering is not coming out of the Go Mesa on that particular project.
but this doesn't say, this is just an amendment to the engineering
So
contract
that
itself.
project there should not stop you.
We
from doing
don't, I'm not privy, or I cannot weigh in on where you all are drawing funds.
Okay, listen, the motion to table it has passed
Yes, sir.
until we get more information.
Yes, sir.
We'll find out if we can use this Go Mason on bond money. If we can,
We're gonna pay you.
yeah.
I just don't
if
wanna
we
get paid
can,
out of here and get penalized.
Fully understand. I had asked for direction because I was.
GIS was RFQ. They were, but we'll get more information. They were.
Yeah, we'll get some information on that, find out just what the situation is, because if we can't, then the first time was wrong.
Right, but I'm almost sure the first time was RFQ. But anyway, we'll know more.
All right, next item, request approval of the apparent lowest responsive bidder for LA 70 Cross Culvert Installation Project and authorization to the president to sign all necessary documents.
They still going to do their job and with the blacktop?
Yes,
Yes,
They gonna cut it?
yeah, they're gonna cut it and come back.
yes.
And a little bit it was.
A little bidder was M-Track LLC with a bid of 64,000. And we are recommending.
So we had allocated 50,000 for this project. Correct?
That's correct.
So we're gonna need another 14,000. We got that from non-bond Go Mesa,
You said 60?
64.
64,000.
64.
Yes, sir. And we've received several bids. They are the lowest. The bids ranged anywhere from the lowest at 64 to a high of 245. The next lowest was 89.
Okay, so we need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Jamie,
Second.
second by Jeff, all in favor? Opposed?
And then 14,000 come out of non-bond.
Next item is update on Attakapaw Landing restroom drawings and permits.
We had a meeting this morning with the contractor as well as yesterday on the site. Permit for the restrooms has been issued. They have it in hand. The contractor is now disputing the elevation of the restrooms. As we had indicated when we gave them new plans for the reduced size of the restrooms, that elevation would be at a 4.4. I have sent there, you all have seen some correspondence going back and forth regarding, he had submitted a price earlier on in the amount of about $4,800 for the additional sand to raise that building.
How many yards of sand was that?
It's 18 yards.
$4,800.
$4,800. I responded, as this is a federally funded project, we have to do an evaluation of all costs submitted. Those costs that were submitted were found to be exorbitant. I therefore rejected that request at the $4,800. Contractor again came back, said he made an error in his previous submission and brought the price down to somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,800. The issue I have here, gentlemen, is he was given plans and provided a deduct change order. If he did not include the additional sand that he would need in that plan that he was given, in that deduct that he provided, I cannot justify coming back to you all asking for $1,800 more to add a load of sand out there. I mean, I'm speaking frankly, I just don't see where he is justified in his request. Now, he's stating that he's going to hold up the job as he has been from the day. And he's stating that he's in damages up to his eyeballs. But I can tell you that we have been documenting every day. And up until yesterday, he had started working on the site, and they were doing multiple things that were not even included in the change order, of which he stated that he had no additional work to be done, which we now know that to be false. So I don't want to get into a long discussion with you all, but we do need to, he's made several claims for damages. He's made several threats stating that he is, the latest one was today. I think he included all of you to the tune of $450-something thousand in claims or delays. As your engineer and as a professional of record, I cannot find anywhere where he has been delayed. Yes, we've had negotiations on site. Yes, you all, a change order and a recommendation was brought forth to this jury. The recommendation was made by my office. He came, stated his case. You all granted him a change order. In that meeting, you specifically asked him, is there anything else that would hold you up from starting work tomorrow? His answer was no. He's now stating, now he has a permit in hand. He's now stating that he cannot move forward. Once again,
Was that 4.4 on your plans for the new bathroom?
yes. And he was well aware of it because the elevation of the 4.4 was brought up in February. So he well knew at that time, when he supplied the price of $4,800, that he needed the additional fill. I also disagree with his current statements that he is the owner of all materials on that launch, including all existing materials. That is not the case, nor is that true. He has utilized some of the existing materials in the launch. He did not get permission from my office to utilize
All
those
right,
existing.
let me ask you a question right here. Why did your inspector not catch that?
It was caught and it has been brought to their attention.
Why wait till the last minute to bring it to them?
Didn't wait to the last minute to bring it to them.
This is the first I hear of it.
Did not, his use of that material is not detrimental to the launch. We did not object to it. However, you all should be compensated for that material, okay? Normally on a $3.2 million job, I've never had a contractor who is frankly nitpicking a job. And here's where I stand, gentlemen. Basically, if he's willing to put this $3.2 million project on hold for $500 worth of sand, because the delivered price from the subcontractor to the site is $30 a yard. You can do the math. It's just over around $600. He's still requesting $1,800. He has material that has to be removed from the site to dig the footings. It is the exact same material that he's going to be claiming to haul in to raise the launch. That material is more than enough. I calculated it. The amount of material to be removed for the footings is over 22 yards. He needs 18 yards with a 30% compaction factor to achieve the additional elevation. I understand he's making arguments to this jury.
I understand all them arguments. What we gotta do to keep this project moving
Moving.
today.
He's saying he's not moving forward until he receives another change order for $1,800 and something dollars.
Well, you don't have no vote for me because they ain't getting no more money. It's dead.
And
It's dead.
So the
Frankly,
project
gentlemen,
just sit there.
frankly,
You ain't getting
gentlemen,
no more money.
we're at the standpoint of, he's been given directives. He has plans. Yes, he stood before this jury and said he understood everything. He also attended multiple meetings where he stated he had a full understanding of the plans.
Do you
The
have a
contract
deduct?
is clear.
Do you have the deduct yet for those gazebos?
No, he has not provided that. He has not provided that. So again, he stated in this meeting that he would have that information to me the following day. He requested the meeting this morning. He requested a meeting with me this morning. I fully complied. I showed up, was there. He did not show. Now, he is coming back to me and stating that we are having discussions directly with his subs. That is totally false. He
What we gotta do to
requested
get
the
this
meeting.
project moving? I mean,
He wants his
I hear what
he
you're
wants
saying.
his $1,800,
That's what I
gentlemen.
understand.
Yeah. That sand we have on our yard for sandbag and river sand, is that,
Yes.
can I bring him a load of sand?
We'll bring them a load of sand.
I
Bring
have
him to
I have no issue with that, gentlemen. I'm telling you, I know this contractor, and he's gonna come back again
He's
and
coming
say,
back again.
how do I put this in place now? So
We're
at
not- we're
some
not-
It's not
point,
just gonna sit there though. We gotta finish it.
I understand that, Mr. Diaz, but at some point you have to say, hey, we have a contract in place. He has a contract to follow. And if he is
And it's
refusing to
just-
follow that contract, then I have no choice but
I
to
told y'all
recommend to
that
you
in
to
the
place
last
him in
meeting we
default.
had, the special meeting, he was coming back. He's coming back.
You're correct.
He's not gonna. he's
And
not
in
gonna
my
come back. He's
opinion,
not gonna come
and
back.
in my
He's
opinion, he's
not
in
gonna-
default of contract.
Mr. Joseph, what's your?
And my next
recommendation?
recommendation, if he comes back again, I understand the need to keep this project moving.
Is he in default right now?
No,
Can you get it in writing from him that this 1,800 is?
I have that. I have that in writing. He sent an email several weeks back with his reduction in cost, and you all were included on it
And the $1,800 he needs is for the sand,
for the additional sand.
and he can haul the sand over there.
They've been
Still,
holding
he probably
sand.
still
Well, if he
gonna
hauls
charge
the
you.
sand, if he hauls the sand, then the $1,800 to me is, to me, the $1,800 is moot because he hasn't
Not gonna be
hauled,
satisfied.
he has not hauled planned quantity to the job site yet. So again, if he chooses to pull off the site and delay the job any further, then I will have grounds and reason to make a recommendation to this jury to place him in default. Now, I know what that means. I know that means,
That means
hey,
it's gonna sit
we're
for
going
years
to
to close.
litigation
No.
and so forth to do so. I am hesitant to make that recommendation for that reason. I am trying to work this out. But at some point, this contractor has to be held accountable to the contract he signed at the price he signed.
Yeah, we can't just let him keep.
Get in touch with
pushing
him
on.
tomorrow, see if we could supply the sand with his price of it.
So you okay with that, Mike, if
If we can supply the sand.
he
Two loads
supplies
of sand.
sand? Okay.
Why are we supplying sand to him? We already got a price in for everything he's doing, $3 million
Well,
job.
right now, I think what we're looking at doing is getting that project moving. Now, he said that the $1,800 worth of sand was holding him up. So if we furnish the sand, he should be good to go.
Y'all already know, we furnished the sand.
I
Next
know
meeting
it,
is
but
gonna be
that's
something
why I
else.
asked Joseph to get it in writing that this is it. This
He
is
said
it,
$1,800. He did not indicate that, hey, if we supply the sand, he's still gonna want labor to put it in place. So,
Get in touch with him tomorrow with the sand.
All right,
thank you.
okay. So we're doing nothing to number 5.
No action.
Number 6, discuss Pankerville Highway 403 drainage project, Ward 6.
Yes, I went out there and looked at a couple people complaining. I got Paul to go look. What we got, we're doing a lot of, go make some projects to 403 to the back, fixing the drainage, bridges and all that. We got a big problem to the front. We can't even get the water to the back. So Paul went and looked at it. We got several covers that need to be replaced, that's undersized, that's caved in. I think probably about 19 to 20 covers. So what I would like to do, I'd like to make a project out of that and allocate. We estimating somewhere around 100 grand out of Go Mesa for that.
Here again, that's another project. You need engineering on, you gotta go out for RFQs.
Yeah, it's a project we need.
How many culverts
They all
you
need
have
to
to
be changed
change?
at the same time?
Paul,
Yeah, they got
how
to
many they
change.
have to change that?
About
So I think
19.
19 that were in bad shape on that stretch, about a mile stretch.
I don't know if you was with the parish when we did this on Cherry Street. We changed all of them out on Cherry Street.
No, sir, I wouldn't.
Oh, it wasn't here. And what we did was, we did so many at a time. We didn't do the whole project.
That's Mr. Carter's discretion.
Well, I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
but he's asking to go through the Gomez.
Right.
Yeah,
Do the
If I
worst
could-
ones
we
to
got-
start.
I mean, we got Go
The
Mesa
worst
money
ones to
that's
start.
not
Yeah,
allocated.
we do the worst ones.
If I can maybe weigh in, it may help. You had on the agenda at the last meeting that we rescind the motion regarding the Bertrandville outfall, because a lot of that work was done by the farmer. Until we figure out what's needed on that back end, all of that water is still coming to that location. So again, it's Mr. Carter's discretion, but I would say he could use the $100,000 that was allocated to that project because it hasn't been spent. And obviously, yes, we will have to do something down the road there, but it's not an immediate need because it has been cleaned. It's just a suggestion.
I want Bertrandville Canal to be done as scheduled. But we also have Go Mesa money that have not been allocated for anything yet. That I would like to see $100,000 allocated to 403.
For the construction bond, I mean, get out the Go Mesa construction bond. Motion? I done.
I'm not on the committee.
I'm good with it, but
I
the
got
back's
a
gotta be
motion.
done first.
That's gotta be done and the front's gotta be done.
Yeah, but
Okay,
the back's gotta
so-
be done first,
Motion by
because
Mr.
you
Alcohol,
figure it out,
second.
this all piles in the back, so do the back, I'm which,
Okay,
Got a motion.
So a motion is made to,
To start the process.
Yeah.
Start the process.
Do we have
Water
to pay engineering for this?
The
Yeah,
engineering,
it's got to be engineered.
was that, you gotta be engineered,
Yeah.
you gotta go for bid, you
well,
gotta, you
now,
gotta go
wait,
to RFQ for engineering first.
all you have to do is change out the culverts,
And you gotta
They need some sweeping also. They need some ditch
but,
work.
can
but
do
does
that
it need engineering?
We don't need engineering for that.
No, we didn't have
It's
engineering
wasting
when we
money.
did, Cherry Street,
Fine.
if you're just changing out culverts,
Changing our calls and sweeping about 2 miles, yes, sir.
yeah,
Yeah, well, that,
what you think?
The only issue with that is his money, the recommendation, he's recommending a contract, that the whole job, he bid out the contract to do it, and y'all recommended it being in-house. That's the only separate issue with
Can
that.
you do it in house?
Yes, but when?
We stretched. I'm be honest with
He
you.
can't
we
do it.
stretched. I
He
can
can't
do it.
do
We
it.
can,
You
it can be
can do
done
it
in-house.
in-house, but not
He
all
can't do
at
it.
once,
Yeah,
that's what
not-
happened with us on Cherry
That's fine. I
Street.
mean, we still got what? About a year, year and a half for Gomez money. I'm fine, we can get it done in house. It don't have to be done all at once.
Yeah, if you can do it, you know, that's how we did Cherry Street.
Yes, sir.
We didn't do it all at once.
Yes, sir. Understand. I have no issue with that.
I don't think you could do it in-house using the Gomesa money.
That's the
I don't
issue
think
I'm
you can
asking
pay, we
Is that
can't
for
pay
you?
ourselves on the
You can
Gomesa
pay for
money.
the equipment and the
For the
material.
Right,
The
but
labor
not
would
for
have to come
payroll.
out of your-
Yeah, not for
Fine,
payroll.
ain't it?
Yeah.
You got-
So Gomesa does allow you to buy the materials provided for the project, but we cannot pay labor.
Labor, that's
Out
what I'm
of
talking about.
Gomesa.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that's
Labor
come out of
could
a
come
drainage
of
fund.
the, Drainage,
They be calling my drainage fund.
yeah, your
That's
drainage,
the way it works.
yeah,
there you go, there you go.
okay.
We still gotta go out for bid for the materials.
Depends on the
We have
amount.
materials, we have materials bid out already.
Some material, yeah,
Yes.
some materials already bid out.
What size coffers is that?
18, minimum 18, some 24s.
You can, yeah, I believe you can utilize Gomesa to rent the equipment.
Yeah.
So the only thing that would have to come out of his drainage allocation would be the hours for the
Parish
operation.
labor.
Yeah, that's all we talk about.
Parish labor.
Yeah.
And that could save us a lot of money.
All right, so
Okay,
you got a motion.
We got a motion.
so the motion will be to do the project. The materials with Go Mesa funds and parish labor
The parish labor will come out of his drainage.
out of his drainage, okay.
Yes, yes.
So that motion by Ron, second by James, all in favor, opposed. Next item, discuss Virginia Yule
You
Street.
can tell whatever, because we got the sewer project going on there, and hopefully we'll look at it after we get that in place.
Table that one. Update on natural gas pump on Oak Lane.
Right, so I spoke to you previously. I did visit the site with the gas company. We measured it out. We actually formulated a scope of work that they would sub out to install our gas line. We issued the permit and the PO was also issued, but the timeline on when they're gonna install that depends on them. We don't control that portion of it. They actually have a sub that goes out and get it. On the 16th, we received the bids back for the second portion of that project to acquire the engine, the gearhead and the shafts. We were all busy on that particular day. Mr. Justin wasn't around, so we have to open it, but we did have only one electronic bid that came in. So we have to open it and view it. And then we can go out for purchase of the products that we requested as per the bid specifications. So that's where we at with it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Update on Gerald Street levy permit.
Yes, we received a letter from DNR that was dated May 1st. And it basically is requesting that we locate all drainage structures within the levee system, pumps, so forth. So my office we're working on that to get that resubmitted to them. It's a good bit of information. And same thing, not to jump, but same thing was requested on the ring levies. So we actually finished and completed the ring levies and uploaded that today. So we should be finishing what they're requesting on the Gerald Street one. I'm hoping to have it, I don't want to over commit here, but by the end of next week, I feel comfortable that we'll have that fully updated. And then that would meet all the requirements that they have set forth in the documentation that they presented to us. So that's where we stand right now with John Street.
Okay. A short update on Lee Drive project.
Lee Drive, as I said earlier, we had, not to beat a dead horse, but we did have a meeting today. We will be coming to the jury, looking to get a approval for a deduct change order in the amount of $45,000. It won't be the final change order. We'll probably have an adjustment of quantities at the end of the job. But as it stands right now, we're on track to complete. The contractor wishes to be able to bill on some of these changes, the boxes that were added and so forth. So I am asking tonight that the jury preliminarily approve a $45,000 deduct to the current contract. And we will adjust those quantities, send that to your accounting so that he can bill on those items. But it is a $45,000 deduct as we stand right now.
For the entire job.
For the entire job.
That's it? Update on ring levies?
I need a motion. I need a motion on the.
On the deduct $45,000 on the Lee Drive.
Okay. Motion by Jamie, second by Ron. All in favor? Opposed? And what is this for?
This is for a balance, an interim balance of quantities. Because we've had to make some adjustments to the job regarding culvert locations and so forth, and we've had to make some additions, but the net right now is a negative 40 or a $45,000 deduct to the contract. But I've got to get those in place so that he can be able to bill accordingly on his unit prices, because there's some adjustments there. He submitted an invoice previously and had to remove those items that he'd already done because it wasn't brought before you as an official change order, even though it was a reduction.
It's a $45,000 deduct.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But
All right.
they don't need the job if they need the $45,000.
Yeah.
How many riprap we got from that job?
He supplied some, there was not a lot. There was a lot of wrap produced. However, we used a lot of it in the actual job itself.
Right.
But the 45 will still be used on the project.
Correct.
If needed.
All right.
If needed.
Did we vote on it?
Yeah, no, we had a motion.
We had the motion.
Yeah, they voted.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll vote again.
Basically, once the project is prior to substantial completion, we'll be coming to you for acceptance and a final balance of quantities at that point in time.
Okay, update on ring levies.
Ring levies, I spoke to Mr. Pondville earlier briefly. We had received a letter, I believe it was dated on the 16th, requesting some additional information. They basically wanted us to break down each one of the ring levy sites and provide to them an affected area and segment it. We did that. Then in addition to that, they needed an operation and a proposed operation and maintenance schedule for each pump station. So we prepared that. Basically that states, when the pumps would kick on, when they would kick off, so forth. And basically we met all of the requirements in their required checklist, and that was uploaded to them today.
Out of town.
Huh?
Out of town.
I'll show you the checklist they provided. We went down it pretty quick. It's a lot of information. I just forwarded you the acceptance. I'll gladly provide you with everything we did, but getting it on the 16th and it is now the 20th. We're responding to them as quick as we can. The information they're requesting is not something I'm pulling out of the sky.
Are there any resources that we could reach out to expedite this?
Now that we've met everything on the checklist, any calls you make to your legislature is at that point, any pressure you put at this point, we've responded to everything we have currently.
Okay, motion to adjourn. Mike, second by
Johnson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, we call the regular meeting to order. Record reflect all members of present except Mr. Blanchard. Prayer by Mr. Johnson.
God, who teaches us by sending the light of his Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours, and that we may forever find joy in his guidance.
Play it, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I go to the approval of minutes, Mr. Bartholomew is here, and I think he got a prior engagement, so we'll give Mr. Bartholomew the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Just want to give the jury a quick update. Last year, I came to you all and I presented our strategic plan. Say, hey, you know, basically here is where we are moving to try to move the district forward from an academic standpoint. I also have with me today, Ms. Kathy. I don't know if y'all know Ms. Kathy O'Quinn. She is our new Director of Curriculum and Instruction. So we actually promoted someone homegrown from within the parish to director. So she was a principal at Napoleonville Middle. Now she's the Director of Curriculum and Instruction parish-wide. She's going to present to you some information about what are we doing to attract and retain more teachers and help develop our teachers as well. Because we all know that hiring, if you're a business owner, we all looking for employees. So she has a special presentation, shouldn't take long, to inform you all what are we doing as a school system to recruit and retain our teachers. But before we get into that, I wanted to give you a quick update on where we are as far as our strategic plan is concerned. And obviously we have 6 priorities: rigorous and culturally relevant instruction, engage healthy schools, differentiated academic support, engage families and community, diversity, effective team, equity focused vision. And our strategic plan is a 5-year plan. So last year, 2021, 2022, we launched. 2022, 2023, we implemented some of our strategies, and then we're going to do that every year. So just real quick, 1.1, effectively facilitate instructional leadership teams and develop principles to proficiency in their facilitation. So we launched something that we call instructional leadership teams. So each school created a leadership team, and they worked through different issues as it relates to teaching and learning, or anything that on their campus that needed to go through a process so they can better serve our kids. So we work with our principals on developing instructional leadership teams. 1.2, we launched lesson plan internalization. That is when our teachers review lesson plans and internalize that to make sure that we are hitting all the points we need in order for our students to be successful. Because you know as well as I know, you have to create that lesson plan in order to teach that lesson. So we wanted to make sure that lesson plan was strong. We did do that. We started with K2. This year we moved to ELA 3 through 12. Next year, we're going to introduce this strategy to our math teachers, K-12. 1.3, we focused on how our leaders can be more effective. So we did a lot of work around an evaluation tool to make sure that our leaders would be effective at their job. So we did a lot of work with communicating, here are the expectations of the rubric, and this is what you need to do in order to be highly effective. 1.4, what we did here, even though we're not launching this until 2023, 2024, we've already started to develop and create a development plan and a support plan for our teachers. Even though we're not launching yet, but we started that process. 2.1, 2023, and you can see kind of like where we are with the color code boxes that we have. Define and implement an equitable vision, classroom, school culture and Assumption Parish. We've already done that. We've created that vision. We Basically, if you saw any of our videos or anything, we've always said, hey, you know, Assumption for All, reaching every student every day. And that's our vision, and that's our motto for the year. 2.2, we had to make an adjustment here. We did have an anti-bullying campaign district-wide, but we fell short on making sure that we implement the School Louisiana school app, the Rave Panic button, and the Crime Stopper. So we adjusted our plan to include that in this year's initiative. So we started because we had our anti-bullying campaign, but I wanted to do a little bit more, but it was just time consuming and we couldn't get it done. So we just used, we're gonna move that to this year. And then you don't see any other initiatives for that, for this past couple of years. Go to 4.1. 4.1, we partnered with River Parish Community College, Fletcher Community College, Nicholls State University. We need to do more work locally in our communities with our churches and our different business owners, the chamber. But we did launch that process. So we're truly excited. Fletcher Community College right now, our kids are earning dual enrollment credit. I want to say we have the largest dual enrollment success rate, passing rate as of yet. I want to thank Ms. Thibodeau and her team for doing that, and all the kids and the parents who register for those dual enrollment credits. This year, I just partnered with River Parish Community College. We're going to offer those workforce credentials. Now our kids get to go there in the afternoon and work on those, whether it be instrumentation, electrical, plumbing, pipe fitting, whatever they desire. So we're starting that partnership right now so we can provide those opportunities to our kids. And hopefully the end goal here is normally you go through I think it's an 18-month certification process. So you get your level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4, and obviously your core for your safety. But within an 18-month period, those kids would be partnering up with possible employers. So I've talked to one of the ladies today, and they're super excited about the opportunity. I'm super excited about the opportunity advocating for the parish on the school system behalf. 5.1, which is it's a little more helping develop and work with our principals. That's our pre-K NIET observation tool. So in addition to working with our principals to say, hey, how you can be highly effective, we also work with our teachers as well. 5.2, this has more to do with how we're trying to stop teacher turnover, how we're trying to recruit and retain. This year, we gave a $5,000 stipend to anybody that wanted to work in our parish. That's a recruitment stipend at any one of our lower performing schools. Anywhere.
Did that work out?
Well, I said we did recruit some, but it didn't have the impact that we actually anticipated.
So make it 10.
Well, we're competing, right? Because, you know, when you start talking about, you know, how much money you have available, and we use grant funding for this, you know, so we were able to reallocate some of those ESSER funds that we received to recruitment. It didn't have the impact that I initially thought it would. That's why Ms. Kathy's going to present a plan to you all tonight of how we're going to grow our own. We created a model called the Go Square, grow our own. Because if you remember when you was in school, a lot of your teachers lived in the community. So what are we doing in Assumption Parish to help develop our own teachers who are in our buildings? Some of our people right now are paraprofessionals. They may aspire to be a teacher. So in this plan, we're going to help them obtain that certification. We're going to help them obtain those degrees. Same thing with non-degree or even degree individuals in our school system. What are we doing to work with them to try to get them certified? So, and she's going to present that, but that is our shift. So we went away from giving you the stipend and trying to lure you in with money to say, you know what, let's develop our own. Because once you do that, guess what? They live in your community, they work in your community, they stay in your community. So that's kind of like our goal moving forward, but she's going to present a little more information there. And also we paid our teachers. We say, if you go out and you recruit people, you know, because teachers, they know each other. Teachers know, you know, from Terrebonne Parish, Lafourche Parish, Assumption Parish, Ascension, they know each other. They see people, see each other all around the state at these professional developments. So we say, if you bring in anybody, we're going to give you $2,000. So even our own employees, we say, you know what, can you help us recruit teachers? And that's what we did. And some of our teachers did receive the $2,000. In 6, which obviously is the launch of our equity-focused vision, we did that as well. And you can see that in a lot of news releases and things that we published in the newspaper, so on and so forth. And I have something that I have every month. I I put on our website and I emailed to all of our employees. It's called Assumption Parish School System Bulletin. I don't know if you all have ever seen it before, but it's a lot of news, that's things that are happening in the school system. And I want to close with just giving you some updates on some very exciting things. We started this Ready Start Network. The goal here is we want to expand childcare. We want to expand opportunities for children in our community to obtain some form of formal education. So we're working with our local daycares, and we're helping them obtain the resources they need so they can provide those educational services as early as possible to our community members. We had a huge STEM day. I don't know if you all saw it. We had a huge STEM day. We partnered with Fletcher Community College in Bayou STEM, Region 3, Bayou STEM. And we actually had over 700 students attend and participate in STEM activities at our community center. Also, we just recently had our Special Olympics, which was great because we haven't had that in a while. So a lot of our kids and our parents are very, very thankful and appreciative of that. We applied for a $500,000 DOJ grant, Department of Justice grant. We received those funds. Well, we received the grant. We just accepted the award. We were kind of on the fence because we were like, we don't know if we're going to be able to receive it because they had some matching funds, $120-some thousand. But our board definitely wanted to move forward. So you spend $120-some thousand and you get 500 in return. And we're going to use that money to create those fences around our facilities, those single point entries, those vestibules. So when the plan is when you walk on the Assumption High School campus, you got one entrance. And that entrance is going to hold you in one area. And you should not be able to get on campus anywhere else because we're going to build around. Obviously, we love to do it with all of our schools, but our main priority right now is Napoleonville Middle and Napoleonville Primary as well as the high school. Why? Because of the prison is right there, so the jail. So we want to make sure that we try to secure those facilities as soon as possible. Transportation, we are putting a budget this year. We want to purchase cameras on our buses to help our bus drivers out. And also we want to purchase GPS. I know some of our families are always wondering where the school bus is at. So we're trying to give them something that they could have in their hand, load the app up, and they can see where their child is at as far as on the bus. And our construction projects, we just had a huge expansion. Our playground areas, we just finished one at Napoleonville Primary. We have a few other in the parish. Pierre Park has some projects going on as well. We're doing a renovation of restroom there. We did an outside project, Belrose as well. We have some school zone traffic signs that we're going to be installing in the Belrose area, as well as the Bayou Lewis area. Cafeteria upgrades. We're going to do something with our two-story building. I'm on the last phase of presenting this to the board. So we're going to redo our two-story building at the high school. So turnkey job, I'm proposing bricks. So we'll see what happens with that. But that is upcoming real soon. That's going to be on the next agenda for approval. We did, I want to say over 9-10 roofing projects this year. And we're getting ready to spend a lot of money on our HVAC system. So we're getting ready to remove all of the old HVAC systems in our school system and put new HVAC systems there. And obviously, I want to make a big pitch to upgrade our athletic facilities. I don't know if you are aware, but we did, Mr. Tim Barbier, we did approve the floor to be redone, and it's going to be in honor of his name. So and that's the family, his estate is paying for that. So the board approved that. So it's going to be a brand new gym floor, but it's going to be in honor of Tim Barbier. And at this time, look, I'm not going to keep you all long. I know you have to get business taken care of, but I'm going to bring Ms. Kathy up just to talk, and I'll open it up, just to talk about our Grow Our Own program. Questions?
On 4.1, where you're partnering with Fletcher and River Parish, what needs or support you've got in how those kids would get to that training, be it afternoon or whatever the time may be for them to get that training?
So right now with Fletcher Community College, we're offering a dual enrollment opportunities there. With the River Parish Community College, it's one of those where it's in the afternoon. Most of the classes are in the afternoon because they're thinking about possibly students working. We have not, because this is fresh, we have not worked out anything during the day that we will bus kids to and from. But we are in talks and communications right now.
Thank you, Mr. B.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Just wanted to give y'all a quick update, and I'll give Ms. Kathy the floor. And again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it because I know you all are extremely busy.
Good evening, everyone. As Dr. B mentioned, the strategic plan is something that has been in place in our district, and it's important for us to, as educators, make sure we have the most qualified individuals in our classrooms that are providing the education to the students that come to us each and every day. So our instructional team, along with Dr. B and some of the directors in the district office, came together, and we have developed the Go Squared initiative, which is the grow our own model. The idea behind it is to recruit, develop, and retain those individuals that we have within our school system that are in our schools right now, bringing it down even to the level of our high school students. And I'll go a little bit more into detail with you in a few minutes in regards to that. The first program is the teacher certification cohorts. And that would be two pathways. The first one would be the post-baccalaureate pathway, where you would have those individuals who are uncertified individuals. They have a degree, but they're uncertified. And they would come in and work on an alternative teacher certification program route. They would get a TAT or a PL license at the end of their first year of completion. And when they have successfully completed a semester's worth of courses, there would be reimbursement from the district for them in regards to working on that certification. The other one, of course, is for the undergraduate pathway, where you have those paraprofessionals maybe who are interested in going into the education profession, but maybe don't have the means or whatever it might be. So they would partnership through the district with an accredited university to receive their certification. And again, with them, with successful completion, the district would work to reimburse, their tuition as far as what needed to be done on their end. And we would ask these individuals in both pathways to make a commitment, sign a contract and commit with Assumption Parish School District for 3 years after completion of these programs. So that'll hopefully help to keep our individuals here, who are within our district teaching our students in our schools. The next program is Educators Rising, and this program would be for our juniors and seniors in high school. We have individuals right now, students sitting in our classrooms who are educators. We know they're educators. They have that natural talent, that natural knack. So we would work with these individuals to complete what's the Ed Rising 1 and Ed Rising 2 courses, which would be in partnership with Nichols State University. And these individuals would earn Carnegie units as well as credits moving into college.
Awesome.
Yes, so that's the second portion of our Grow Our Own initiative. And then the third initiative that we have, or the third program of the initiative, is the New Teacher Initiative. And the New Teacher Initiative is for those teachers who maybe have 1 to 3 years experience with our within our district. And it would be to go in and support these individuals, first off, by having a new teacher orientation where district staff, school staffs come in and give them, all of the imperative information that they need in order to get started and be successful in those first few years of their career. Another part of it would be for them to participate in some modules with the State Department, and those modules would focus on those core areas, classroom management, lesson planning, and so forth, that help them to be successful in those first years as things are overwhelming coming in as a new teacher. And then also there would be some affinity groups that they could participate in, where they would work with, peers who maybe have similar interests and be able to do some virtual training with them and collaborate with them on that. We also have built into the program where we would have district collaboration meetings where the district teams of teachers who are in this program would meet bi-monthly. They would come together and share their experiences. We would be there as instructional leaders to support them and help them, in any way that we possibly can. And then we also have it laid out where they would have a mentor. These new teachers would have a mentor who would be there for them to check in with them and support them throughout the course of, their years as being that new teacher. So these three programs are what are what are the part of our Grow Our Own initiative. And as Dr. Bartholomew said, it's to get those individuals who are here within Assumption Parish and try to keep those individuals here to provide that high quality education to our students.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments? Again, I want to
Doing
say.
what you do.
Sir? Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, thank you. I really appreciate the time today. Thank all the jurors. Thank you for your time. And I'm very excited about the new initiatives in the parish. So we just want to share some things that are happening in the school system. So we really appreciate your time.
Appreciate that.
Glad you came. Thank you all. Thank you for coming.
Take care. Approval of minutes of May 2nd, 2023. So moved. Moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment? Any public comment from the audience?
I would like to say something, Mr. Gerald. This is just in regards to our fabulous presentation our grants coordinator gave. I completed the LTAP program today, and I thank you guys and Mr. LeBlanc for allowing me to attend it. So I can represent this parish for parks, recreational trails, road improvements. It's a 5-year qualification, all the way from the grant side to help her. There was some very, very good information they gave me because we are a rural parish and there's many, many things through DOTD and other organizations that we can apply for. I just thought it was a great opportunity to be there and deal with that and hope that I can assist our grants coordinator and you guys in future projects for the constituents of our parish. And we keep moving on. And I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, I will be attending the other side of it, which is the qualifications for engineering and inspection on overlay projects for roads. So once I complete that, I'll have that to also help out us. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
You better assist us with quality control.
Exactly.
We've been hurting more in the past.
Great.
Any other comments? Second call, third call. Thank you. Drainage report, Mr. Pineville.
The Drainage Committee meeting was held this afternoon. All members were present besides Mr. Blanchard. We approved the sweep the outfall out on Massett Lane, and we approved the culvert replacement at 3431 Highway 1. I present this all in form of a motion.
Form of motion by the chair, there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Diaz, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Finance Committee report, all members present except Mr. Blanchard. First item, request approval to pay bills submitted through May 18th, 2023. We heard budget comparison statements for major funds for April 23. No action. Approve as presented. Third item, request approval to enter a 3-year lease with Gene and Lease Blanchard for the Lease Road boat launch at the cost of $300 per month to be funded through Wards 2 and 3 Recreation. That passed. Number 4, update to board relative to 2021 audit findings and progress report. We heard from Ms. Foray. That 5th item, request approval to rescind the motion to relocate the mayor's upstairs and discuss the housing located for the federal program Department of Veterans Office. We did rescind the motion, and the mayor's office will stay downstairs, and we're gonna do some in-house moving in the next few days. And there was one deviation as a resolution that the parish has a budget to maintain a new sewer system for the APCC building.
Mr. Chair, I accept your items as form of motion.
Motion made by Mr. Alcoin.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pineville. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Personnel Committee, Mr. Diaz.
Personnel Committee met, all members were present except Mr. Blanchard. First item, we approve to end the probationary period for Ms. Michelle Solar. Item number 2, we approve the revised job description for a floodplain manager, permit director, mosquito control supervisor, IT specialist, and inclusion in the organizational structure manual. I present this all in the form of a motion.
Motion by the chair. Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Federal programs, Mr. Johnson.
Federal programs meeting this afternoon, all members present with the exception of Mr. Blanchard. We started with number 2 was discuss section 8 bid process, and no action was taken on it. Other one was request approval to exercise 2 1-year extensions for the administration of the Section 8 program with Roberto and Macedo and Associates to expire 9/30/2025. We approve that. Actually, we accept all those.
Motion by the chair to approve as read. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Engineer, Mr. Como?
Yes, the engineer and grants committee met this afternoon. All members were present except for Mr. Leroy. The first item was tabled. The second item, we were given an update from the grants coordinator. The third item was tabled. The fourth item, we approved the apparent lowest and responsive bidder for the LA Highway 70 cross culvert installation project and authorized the president to sign all necessary documents. There was no action taken on the Tacopah land and restroom drawings and permits. The Pankerville Highway 43 drainage project, we approved to use the GOMESA funds for the materials and the parish labor for the installation. Number 7 was tabled. We was given an update on natural gas pumps on Oak Lane. We was given an update on Gerald Street levy permit and an update on Lee Drive project and approved the reduction of the $45,000 balance, which the $45,000 will remain for the project. We was given an update on the ring levies and the upper airport. That's in the form of a
Motion by the chair. Just one comment. There was on item number 4, the lowest bidder was M-Track.
Yes.
With a base bid of $64,000. Motion by Mr. Como to accept, second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Number 10, number 11 is approve a streetlight at 2654 Highway 1010 Loudville community that is in the lighting district, and it will require a illumination study also, like all the rest of them. Motion by Mr. Como, second. Mr. Diaz, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, request approval of an occupational license for Tiny Roots Children's Boutique, licensed by Heather. Wishy-washy pressure washing service. I can say that 3 times real fast. And swamp contractors. What's that?
Southern relaxation.
And Southern relaxation, I'm sorry.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Carter. Second by Mr. Fonville, all in favor? Motion carries. Any other business? Motion adjourned by Mr. Alcone, second by Mr. Fonville, all in favor? Opposed? Everybody have a good Memorial Day. Y'all work.
No?
Okay.